So talk to us a little bit about how life is for you, like as this adult, you're in law enforcement, you're married, you got a kid on the way, but at the same time, you're kind of like, you're making your spiritual life the focal point of all that. How does that work for you?
Well, I think the way that I look at it is that, your spirituality and being a Christian for me is the foundation of who I am. And that's my perspective on how I view life.
Okay.
Because when you go through things in life, and the older you get, the more you will experience, because that's how life goes.
Yeah.
You experience the hardships of life. You experience suffering, whether it be any type of suffering, or whether it be personal or whether it be something with work, giving you a hard time, or whether it be a medical issue with a family member, or just, I mean, I'm sure anybody can relate to some type of suffering. And then on top of that, as far as going through the understanding why things happen in the world, and ultimately, what is my purpose in life? When you really think about these questions, um, for me, I look at the Bible and I want answers to these questions, and the Bible gives me those answers and shows me that, as a Christian, like I should have an eternal perspective, because
Yeah.
it's not all about this world. And that changes a lot for me personally, because it changes how I view everything. So when I'm having a hard day, when
Yeah.
things are outside of my control, just going horribly, and that allows me to really understand, okay, like, why is this happening? And maybe I don't have an answer of why, but I can understand in the perspective of the Bible that God is in control. And there's more than just this life, because if you put all of your hopes and dreams in this life, you're going to be let down. You won't be satisfied.
Yeah.
And that's the way I view it. And so, that is the foundation before I'm anything, before I'm, my job title, before I'm, an American, before I'm, any thing that is also good. I'm a man, and I am, a man in God. And that is the foundation of how I choose to live each day.
Yeah.
So,
So what does that look for you, like practically speaking?
yeah. So practically speaking, I mean, it's about, just like all of us, we, make choices every day. And that can be choices such as, okay, you're given an opportunity, like something happens in your life, for example, um, like, something, just at work, just goes really just wrong. You made a bad decision. I made a bad decision, and like, screwed something up. Paperwork was messed up, or this or
Yeah.
that. And and that's just a minor example, but it's like, hey, like, okay, I can either, be like defensive and be like, oh man, like I just got to get better at this,
Yeah.
or I can look at that and be like, okay, hey, I can learn from this, and take an opportunity to, maybe like talk to my supervisor or talk to someone else about it, and learn from that opportunity,
Yeah.
um, and not always focus on myself, as striving to be like the best that I can, and strive like for my purposes, and it's about going back to really like just the simple little things of loving God and loving others. And that is played out in like a more practical sense of like, those that are around you, God has put it around you for a reason. Those people that are your friends, your family. And if you're, for me, like, I want to make them a priority over things that maybe would make me feel better, or maybe, benefit me more. So for example, like if my wife, needs, me just to be there to listen to her and to talk to her, then maybe something else can wait, and that's just, and actually like being like, hey, like God gave me this person in my life,
Yeah.
and I actually want to make a conscious effort to be like, hey, she needs me to listen right now. and to be there for her and
Yeah.
support her. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. And like everything else can wait just a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just like a practical sense of like the day-to-day decisions, because, you know, one thing that really I know, and, you know, I'm sure everybody that's watching this can relate, and I'm sure you can relate to, is the busyness of life. And I think,
Yeah.
you know, it's this constant like, oh, I'm busy, you know, I can't do this. And I think at least for me, I really want to reevaluate, like, okay, why am I busy and what am I doing? And do those things really line up with my values?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's I guess in a practical sense, that's kind of what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.